If you want to check out different content from myself, I've just set up a second channel where I'm going to post fitness and things. The link for that will be in the description. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to take a look at some of my, at least, underrated team of the season players. And what I mean by mine is, of course, the ones that I feel are underrated. We're going to kick things off with 89 Romina. Now, of course, when I say underrated, I don't necessarily mean that they could still cut it today. I just feel like that they didn't get anywhere near enough recognition when they were released originally. I've not really ever seen anyone using any of them when they were released. Even now, you just don't see them. Romina was an objective card to the best of my knowledge. So, of course, if you didn't complete it, then you wouldn't have had the chance to use it. But he had a lean body type. He had only 3-star weak foot, 4-star skills, but still high attacking work rate, very quick, 93 acceleration, 92 sprint speed, very good finishing, 91, great stamina, and agility and balance, yeah, but not really an awful lot of anything else. So maybe that was one of the reasons why people weren't that interested. But it was one of the first batches of team of the season cards. As you can see, the team we have him in there was, for the time, actually pretty good. There were a few cards, like maybe potentially Fred, there was maybe a little bit behind, but he's meta enough anyway that it doesn't really matter. But he was a very good player, and I wouldn't say that he was better than the likes of Neymar, or I would rather have him in there instead of an icon or anything like that, but he had very good shot power, even though the stat itself only said 88. The venom behind some of his shots was just there to see. I mean, this one in particular rifled that, nearly broke the net, beating David De Gea all ends up. And he was quite prolific in front of goal as well. Can you be quite prolific? Is that even a thing? It can't be, can it? You're either prolific or you're not. But again, it goes round the goalkeeper. Great goal from him. Wasn't as agile as I was maybe expecting him to be when I used him, but still agile enough, very quick in a straight line. His positioning was very good, and of course his finishing, like I said, very, very, very clinical. And I know a lot of people will have forgotten about this card already, but he came out of nowhere. I knew almost next to nothing about him in terms of real life, but in FIFA, definitely an underrated player that not many people, I would have thought, would have unlocked or used. Up next, we have Thiago, hopefully, Liverpool-bound Thiago. The news coming out right now is that he still wants to leave Bayern, despite the fact that they've won the Champions League, and his desired destination is Liverpool. So as a Liverpool fan, I would love to see that. Him in the Premier League, just controlling every game. But in FIFA, 5-star skills, only a 3-star weak foot, but still medium work rates. This was a card that I've seen a couple of times, but not many. Obviously, having it as a red pick probably made it that little bit easier and a little bit more just at hand more than anything else, that I could just chuck him into a team and play with him. You know, if you had to go out and buy him, maybe a different story. At one point, his price was hovering around the 100 or so thousand mark. Right now it's around 60k, so it's definitely affordable. A player that slots into many teams, links obviously to icons, but links to just Spanish players in general, like Ramos, for example, who was at right back at the time. Links into him despite the fact that he plays in a different league. And of course, you've got those great links to so many different Bayern players right now. But Thiago is very much like he is in real life. He controls the midfield. He wasn't necessarily used as a CDM per se, but he was in there to... I mean, I did have a gladiator on him, so you could maybe say that I was using him as a CDM, but we were improving the finishing and the long shots because I felt like his passing, his dribbling was good enough. No point boosting that strength, so you might as well just give him that little defensive boost. And his passing and those skill moves as well, really fun to use. Unfortunately, couldn't quite get the goal off that skill move there. But again, just a type of player who controls the game more than anything else, just sits there in the middle in a 4-2-3-1. You can have him there in a CDM role, or you can have him as a box-to-box like I did, and he comes back and with a gladiator on him, for example. He does defend, but he can go forward and score goals as well. He was just an all-round really good player, and it's not very often that you get a player who plays like he does in-game than he does in real life. Now moving on to Sosa, a player who is 100% every letter of the word underrated, because nobody uses this card. I've not seen anyone use it. I don't think I've come up against it once. Now, if you're one of the ones that have used any of these cards and maybe you think they're underrated as well, or maybe you used them and you didn't think they were underrated, feel free to let me know in the comments. But I just never come up against these players. And especially now as we progress through with all the Summer Heat cards and the UCL showdowns and all the rest of it, it's becoming less and less common for me to come up against these type of players. Obviously, Sosa's not very easy to fit into a team. I mean, he is Argentinian, so you can do that, but because he plays in the Turkish league, or rather he did, I don't think he does in real life anymore, there's been a mass exodus from the Turkish league. But as you can see, he's not the easiest to fit into a team. I had to use Avia, I had to use a Icon and Galklishi at left back to get him in the team. But he was, and still is, a very capable player. I wouldn't say he's one of my favourites in terms of like how good he is. I wouldn't say that having watched this, I'd rush out to go and get him because he's that good. But he's definitely underrated. He's got an awful lot going for him. You know, he's got the medium work rate, so you can play him in that sort of box-to-box role. He's not too bad defensively. I would argue that he's better than Thiago defensively. He's got a good shot on him. His shot power, his long shots are fantastic. His passing in general is very good. His physicals, although his stamina, I would like it to be higher, it's not terrible. 86 is not ideal, but it's not terrible. You can definitely still use it. From the midfield, he just offers an awful lot, you know. Draws fouls, wins the ball back, goes forward through on goal, and his finishing is phenomenal from distance in particular. His close range finishing not so much, and that's because of the 74 finishing, but from distance, if you can hit the timed as well, you're going to score an awful lot of goals. As you can see there, from close range, not great, and maybe I could have ball rolled the keeper there, but this was a long time ago. But I definitely still think he falls into that category of being underrated because, again, his passing is just brilliant, and his long range shooting is it's fun more than anything else. And if you're just trying to squeeze a little bit more fun out of this game now, trying to use players you wouldn't normally use, I would recommend Sosa. And now on to a player who, surprisingly from my standpoint, actually is, I would argue, one of my favourite players in the game even now, and that is Idrissi. When he was leaked actually, and I looked at his card and I was like, wow, because I did a predictions. And I looked at him and I thought, yeah, that could be decent. But I didn't think they would boost it to 94. I think in my predictions I maybe took him to a 90. And that would have been at the very most. It might have even been 89. But it came out as a 94 rated card. He's obviously got a high attacking work rate. But the thing that really got me was 99 acceleration and sprint speed with 99 agility and 99 shot power. Great stamina to boot, so you know he's going to be able to do that all day long. You've got numerous options with regards to pacey wingers. You know, you've got your Ryan Kents, you've got your Orsic and those type of cards, and I appreciate that, and even Kostic as well. Kostic, again, we could do maybe another episode, and Kostic would definitely feature, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. If you guys like it, obviously hit the like button and we will do more of these, but Idrissi in particular, one of those cards, breaks back lines for days, excellent finishing, clinical, and he's got one of the best goals I've scored during Team of the Season. It's an unusual goal more than it is. Well, I mean, it's a good goal, but it's unusual as well, and that's what I really like about it. In every FIFA, there's always that goal that you score that is just completely against the grain of scoring. Like this here, that's an average goal, right? That's just standard stuff. If you go near post and you score a goal near post, again, it's average. Maybe you score a low-driven cross or something, again, it's average. But there is a goal right at the end of the Idrissi clips that is completely just off the wall, really. That would have been a decent goal. Unfortunately, I overhit it. I remember this review as if I did it like this morning. It is that clear in my head. I really like this card. And I got him again, actually, through one of the player picks on one of my accounts through the SBCs that they released recently, and I think I'm going to stick him in a team and go back in and try him again because his pace is just blistering, and that's something that in this FIFA you really need. You need those pacey attackers, especially in like the likes of Karima where I've been playing recently. It really does help me out a lot having really fast strikers, so online is no different. But he gets in here. Good goal. No, not good goal. Good miss. Should have scored. But here comes the goal. This, I mean, that is ridiculous. How has he scored that? Unbelievable. And that was the icing on top of the Idrissi cake for me. That kind of made me think, wow, yeah, this guy is special, because you don't score those type of goals very often. Flick up, lob the keeper from outside the area, and goalkeeper wasn't even off his line. Absolutely phenomenal goal. That card is brilliant. And all of the cards are good, but they are very underrated. You know, they're much better than what they were given credit for. That's kind of the problem through Team of the Season. EA released so many cards that not everyone can go through them all, and some of them will get lost. And those are just a selection of those that were lost. Like I said, when we were talking about whoever we were talking about, I can't even remember who it was now. I do have an awful lot more Team of the Season cards that I could put into one of these underrated. I mean, I won't go through every single Team of the Season card I've reviewed, but there are a lot out there that people don't use. These type of cards from quote-unquote minor leagues. So if you are interested, feel free to hit the like button. Let me know in the comments who you think is underrated. And if you have enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.